bodies, my name is Jasmine and welcome back to my channel, The Proud Protea. Thank you so much for joining me again. Yesterday was officially the end of daylight savers. For those who don't know, I'll put a link on it because it's very difficult to explain sometimes and I confuse myself. All I know is that we lost an hour, and now because it was so dark in the morning, we wake up an hour later and it's fantastic. So I'll put the link on so that if you want to have a look-see, you can. As you can see behind me, this is my new working space, and even though I've been crafting for many years, I've never physically had my own big working space corner where I can display my goodies. You can see at the top, I will put a photo that you can see when I neaten it up a bit. So obviously it's very untidy now. This week I did want to talk about crochet jargon, just because watching YouTube videos and so on, I've come across that some of the creators list words that we don't always know what they're referring to. So many of you will already know, some won't. I had a good laugh at it, so I thought let me get into that and tap into it and share a bit. So to start off, I was gifted this, and this is a New Zealand wool blanket. This is like a very special gift. I was gifted one. This is for Evelyn, so you can see, very, very warm and fluffy. This is going to be awesome, especially now that we are in autumn and we are going into winter shortly, soon. But very nice to do the prepare work, and I'm sure Evelyn's going to love it. So thank you to the gifter. And another thing one of my neighbors gave me after she saw me with wool and whatnot, she has asked me to help her, because she is a bit older, she's battling to see, to help her mend her knitted blanket. Now obviously this does not do it justice. This is beautiful, but with age some of the stitches have come out. Now I can't find the spot where I saw the pickups. Anyway, if anybody has any advice to offer me on how to correctly mend these sort of blankets, if you can please share, I'd really appreciate it. But so you see, look at this beauty, handmade. Look at that pattern. It is a knitted blanket. Moving on, let's put this on the side. I wanted to share my hashtag amigurumi mod, and this is the first one I've made. I just need to attach it, and I will send in my query to both Cassandra and to Caroline, so they can see it. This is a very special gift for me, not just because it is my first challenge that I'm partaking in, but because this little baby is going to be wrapped and sent home in a friend's suitcase to my future niece that is being born now in June, July side. So obviously we don't know the exact date yet because we're waiting to see closer to the time, but that's who I based my first amigurumi mod on. And I had so many ideas for this, but I stuck with this one. I have started another little one, but this another bunny is not finished yet, so I need to finish the bunny and then I can move on to the modifications that I'm going to be doing on them. So if I can show you, this is my amigurumi mod, my little bunny. It is the baby cake bunny. Oh, I will happily share the pattern. This is such a cute little thing. I did some cross stitch. I cross stitched the letter M because her name is Malia. How beautiful is that? Here's her little sleeping bunny, and here's her bed. I think I need to iron it before I sew this piece on, but I thought let me show it. I'm going to be doing this today. Wait for the airplane to go over. So it's going to be like this, a little pocket with its blanket for the little bunny to sleep in, like so. Yes, I need to finish it, apologies, but you will see a finished photo on here, so don't worry. The little bunny was super quick to put together. I did find myself, I had a bit of a hiccup moment here, just because I wouldn't click at first time, but it did eventually. And this is this little bed piece I made with calico, and it does have, what do you call this stuff now? I've completely forgotten the word. It does have, I want to say batting. No, that's not the right one. I'll put the word on there because now I can't remember. Sincerest apologies, people. Gone blank. The little blanket that I made for Malia's little bunny, if you can see, is a mini version of my actual blanket that I'm doing, not only for myself, but the pattern that I'm making myself. So here is the mini version. You can see the difference in the size and the stitch and everything. So I'm very chuffed with my little mini version that came, and I will put a photo of the finished product that everybody can see. I was very excited about this one. Like I say, there's so many ideas I have, and I still do want to add one more entry for the amigurumi mod, but we'll see how that goes. I've got until the 20th of April, so I think I can make it in time. We're definitely going to try on that one. Finished crafts also for my niece. The little spookdoek, I don't know if I showed it before. That one is done. There is also a little face cloth that is also going with them. And also I'm going to send the little doggy one. Even though it is black, it is a very manly cuddle blanket for the men to use with little Malia. So, things that I did this week, I found some ribbon in my box. So, I made a little basket. If you can see the handles, sorry. If you can see the little, just a little handle piece. Put them in Evelyn's cupboard so that way she can separate her socks and so on. But she seems to be carrying her doll around in it. So, yeah, maybe I'll make a few more of those if I can find more ribbon, and she can have an actual, like a bassinet carrier for her doll. So all ideas that are coming. My little Mary from the nativity scene is still untouched, so I'm already behind on keeping up with my one-piece nativity scene a month. So I'm really hoping that this week, with a long weekend coming up for Easter, I can definitely jump onto that along with my second entry for my amigurumi mod. Going through my list, apologies, wanted to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So, yes, jargon. So I'm going to read off my list. For you, those of you who don't know, special words and phrases that are used by a particular group of people, especially in their work. Okay, first one, frog. Frog is a term used to describe the process of taking out stitches. It comes from the fact that you have to rip it out. Random one, a lot of the people use it, a lot of people say it, but I didn't know this until a couple of weeks ago. So here's another one. Okay, hot or a foth. This is hot off the hook or fresh off the hook. It's the piece you've just finished and you're excited to show off. So I have none that are hot off the hook, except for my little bunny. Everything is still a work in progress, but we'll get to those ones. What does rabbit hole mean? And I've come to realize that I do this a lot, because I go onto Instagram or I go onto Pinterest and I see a video or a pattern and I'm like, oh, and then you go down the rabbit hole to try and find the pattern. And sometimes you find it easy because there's a link. Sometimes you don't have any reference to the pattern. You just see a crafter creating and you see the finished project. So in the terms of going down the rabbit hole, I think all of us do it without even thinking, and we go and search for all of these items. So a question that someone asked me is C2C, and that is the corner to corner, and this is a type of crochet stitch in the form of a square. So it's not just a stitch and it's not just a pattern, it's a crochet stitch pattern in the form of a square. And it is something that I would like to learn how to do, just because you can make so beautiful blankets with the actual picture and so on it. So things to come, hopefully. Cowl, again, this is a common one. It's a crochet along. A group of people crocheting the same pattern at the same time. It's like a crafting circle, but online. LYS, local yarn shop, where you can spend all your time and your money. I will put the link on where I've got some of these from, because it was really, really funny. I didn't list all of them, just ones that just ones that I thought were nice and were common and would help. So a whip, many of you know this, whip is a work in progress. What you've either been pouring your heart and soul in for weeks or has been sitting in your projects bag for months. It's a work in progress. FO, finished object, what your whip turns into. A UFO, unfinished project, similar to whip. This one may be destined for the donation pile. PhD, projects half done. I have many PhDs in crochet. Unfortunately, they don't come with a cap or a gown. So the next one is a toad. Trashed object abandoned in disgust. I think I've had 1 or 2 toads along the years. One was this beautiful bear in this, I want to call this beautiful onesie thing. I got to the onesie and I was just like, I cannot do this. I am done with you. And it was such a beautiful bear and it looked stunning, but I was over it. I procrastinated against that pattern until the very end. I was so turned off by it, I didn't even repurpose the wall because I just didn't even want to see that onesie. So here's another one I thought was very funny. SABLE. Stash accumulated beyond life expectancy. Any diehard crocheter has hidden away in their craft room or attic, in a case, plastic tubs, or in sheer mass. OCD. Obsessive crocheting disorder. What leads to all whips, UFOs, PhDs, and trips to the LYS. So, yeah, pigs. Projects in grocery sacks. So, I don't have the grocery sacks anymore because you don't buy the plastic bags in the shops in New Zealand. But in South Africa, I did. And I do get little bags like this to separate my projects in the bag. So, those are my little pigs. NCR is not crochet related. An ISO or ISO, in search of. This can be anything from the skein of yarn to a hunk of yarn, anything crochet related that you are in search of. It could even be a pattern. For those of you who don't know, CROJO is the acronym for Crochet Mojo. It's also could be an in search of. You've lost your CROJO and you're in search of it or the items to bring it back to life. Payable. Patterns accumulated beyond life expectancy. I'm pretty sure I spoke about this 1 or 2 videos back because you collect so many patterns but you just never get to making them. And that's okay because one day maybe you'll need it. So I'm going to say YAP but pronounces yep, as in yet another crochet project. Yet another project. Yep. Fun. Crochet DD, crochet ADD. The inability to focus on your current whips, PhDs, and UFOs because there's just so many pretty inspirational patterns out there. Don't we all have those? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. A TALC is a take-along crochet. And it's a project, or 20, that you take along with you on trips or in the car or as I do every single morning. Even though I might not even work on it, but the bag will go with because just in case I get 10 minutes that I can spare, I sit and I try and crochet. And it's sometimes hard because, I mean, in between working, when you do stop working, you check your phone, you check your updates, you get carried away looking at new patterns as opposed to crocheting what you have going. So, take along projects, I have a few. I really do. And each one of them is in their own bag. Because, you know, I'm a bag lady. So far that's all I have this week, and I thought that the biggest one was to share my amigurumi mod and to say thank you to the 2 ladies that created this hashtag because I really did have fun and I'm still having fun with it because unfortunately the problem is I've got all these ideas and I just can't get them into practice because there's just so many. So I'm going to go with simple ones with my little bunny that I've got going in the back. I'm pretty sure her name is Henrietta as per the pattern. And I have gone through my old sewing patterns to find her clothes. So that's what I'm going to be working on this week and next week so that I can try and get another entry as well as I know that on the 21st of April, if I'm not mistaken, is the Queen's birthday. I would love to, by then, crochet Queen Elizabeth, and that is other part of my Iconic Woman book, because I've had that book for so long, just because I love Jane Austen. I love the little pattern they had, and there were so many other inspirational women patterns in the book that I just was dying to make, although I have not got there yet. So I'm really hoping that I can get jumped on that, finish Mary, and get one more amigurumi mod in, because that was really lovely. But that's all I have for now, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, stay humble and hustle.